highly recommend Moore Engineering for their efficiency, their effectiveness, and their understanding of local communities.
Their ability to communicate.
The foundation of our relationship is one of commitment and one of mutual trust.
We want to make these communities a place you want to live, a place you want to raise your family, a place you want to go back to. That if the citizens feel it's a success, then we succeed along with it.
Our infrastructure had aged well beyond its life cycle, and our mapping in some cases was completely non-existent in some of these spots, so we really didn't know what we were getting into.
Typical of small towns is you have far more need than you have resources. A lot of our role is to work with the city and really prioritize what is the most important.
We had a very open dialogue, which was great. Our team felt comfortable in being able to call their technical teams, call their technical individuals to answer questions about how should this work. This doesn't seem like it's doing what it should be doing, or why am I not understanding what I'm seeing here?
What really is important in building this partnership is building of trust. Consulting engineering, like almost any consultant, is not just about technical expertise. It's really a relationship about trust.
Their team has really been instrumental to us in terms of providing an understanding, to grasp that from a standpoint of what it means to construct it properly, what it means to ensure that it works correctly.
Where Moore has been very strong working with us and keeping projects feasible and how we can do them and not burden the taxpayers.
Everything we do ties around how that community wants to function and what their end result is, what their goal is. Usually comprehensive planning is done. You know, a community does their zoning, their layouts, and they have kind of a vision as to how their community is going to grow. And we come in from that perspective and work with them to kind of achieve that dream.
RDO, brand new facility, hotel in town. Pretext, what is now Vorterra, when they were looking at building their concrete plant that builds concrete pipes for under roads and stuff. And they were looking at some different sites, and I know Moore was very strong at bringing that facility to Hawley for us and helps us because it brought jobs and industry.
Following the flood of '97, the city realized it had a problem with, obviously, water management. So working with a company that knew how to get us out of the inundation zone, coupled with the ability to lobby the appropriate people that could appropriate the funding necessary for flood mitigation, was critical.
We try to strike that sustainable balance by giving them something that's going to last as long as possible and meet their funding constraints and requirements. And that gets to be, really an understanding from the community's perspective.
Having a $3,000 to $5,000 flood premium payment every year isn't possible. I mean, that's 8 to 10% of a family's total income. So having this project in place that was accomplished under budget, on time, and done effectively, efficiently, and professionally not only gives people the peace of mind, but it gives them the peace of mind that they don't have to go into debt to pay for flood insurance.
I had a question about a project, and I happened to be in the area, and I pulled in, knocked on the door, found Dan Hansen and Moore Engineering. I said, do you have a couple of minutes? And 3 hours later, we'd solved all the problems, and we were on our way. But I'll never forget his willingness to sit down and answer all of my questions.
It's really neat when you're driving down 7th Street and you take a look and there's a whole bunch of kids that are driving their bikes on a bike path, and they used to have to be on a little rural 2-lane road. So it's not only the safety factor from the engineering part, but just being able to see the community getting more and more connected in a safe way, and to know that I was a part of that.
If we've had a project, you can bet that Moore's been a part of it from just making sure that we're meeting our MS4 requirements, some of the most mundane but most important projects, all the way up to new developments, bringing in new infrastructure, looking at our water and sewer facilities. It's been a fantastic resource to be able to rely on Moore Engineering to answer all of our questions.
Moore Engineering is highly effective in helping communities realize their long-term and strategic infrastructural needs.
What brought me to this position was growing up on a farm and wanting to solve issues and fix things and make things better than what I found them the day before. And today I get to do that exact same thing in all the communities that we work in now. That when I hear from a citizen, a mayor, a council person, a public works director, that made my job better or easier. That gives me a lot of pride and satisfaction of why I do it.
People ask who our engineers are, and I always recommend it more just because of my experience with the city.
I would absolutely recommend them.
Without question and without hesitation, I would hands down recommend Moore Engineering. And I say that because of the relationship and because of the partnership.